it's Coach Tori, and this is Raising Runners. We talk running, fitness, mental health, and so many more topics. As the founder of a youth running program, I approach all of our conversations with our youth athletes in mind and kind of have a focus around those things. But as you will see, we are finding that all of these topics relate to runners and people who like to move and do fitness or anything like that. Relates to everybody. Check it out. Hey, it's Coach Tori, and this is Raising Runners, and we are not really doing an episode this week. We will be back next week with our last of our running rhetoric debates, and then we're going to be getting into some other really fun topics. We have at least one guest lined up for now. Feel free, again, as always, I always say this, let us know what you want to hear. If you have guests that you know that we want to talk to, again, I mean, we have guests kind of from all over the map, people who have a bigger following, people who are promoting something, people who are my friends, family, neighbors, like, you know, kind of it's just anybody. So don't hesitate to just be like, I know this amazing person who would love to talk about something that's related to a lot of the things we talk about. Feel free to send them to me. Okay. marikeyrunclub@gmail.com. The link is always in the show notes. But just a quick little kind of wanted to touch base with everybody. Thanksgiving is coming up for a lot of us. I think most people who listen maybe celebrate. That's probably presumptuous, but some people celebrate Thanksgiving. With that, you know, there's always the reminder for everyone to be thankful. And anytime I hear that, I always think of like every year in elementary school doing some kind of like, I'm thankful for little project. But honestly, again, it's a reminder for us to be thankful for things, right? More so in regular life, we talk about gratitude. I know that's like a bigger word in recent times. And sometimes that can be a little abstract. People may not totally get that, but at least for me, try to find positive things. And I've been trying to do this every day. And, you know, a lot of people recommend like 5 minutes of journaling, things that you're grateful for, things you have gratitude for. You know, I don't feel like I can do a structured thing like that always, but I try to do something right before bed. I usually talk to my son about like our favorite thing for the day, because that's really easy, I think, to conceptualize, is like, what was something that really made me happy today? What was something I really enjoyed doing today? And it can be that simple. And not to get super into it, because I'm sure I'm going to actually completely butcher it. But, you know, as we are focusing on the positives, we are strengthening those neural pathways in our brain. We are looking for the positives. We're finding the positives. We're able to see the positives. Now we are getting all the positive things to us. And I don't think anybody can argue, if you're thinking positively, if you're feeling positive about things, you're going to feel better, right? So it does do wonders for your mental health if you're able to really bring gratitude and positivity and find the things that are around you. Not to be like, you always have to be positive, right? Because we know that there can be an element of that is not healthy when you can't express other emotions. But if you're able to see things in your day, one thing that really lit you up today, and that's really going to be able to help. So just wanted to point that out, because, you know, it is a time that everyone remembers to be thankful. So let's try to keep that going all the time if possible. That can be any kind of thing, right? It can be thankful for being able to go running. It can be thankful for having chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast. It can be thankful for getting to take a nap. It can be thankful for bigger things, smaller things, any old thing. And also, I think when we think running and Thanksgiving, a lot of us think turkey trot. Personally, have never, I don't think, done a turkey trot. I mean, there are different periods of my life where I'm running every day, different days. So, I mean, I'm sure I've run on Thanksgiving a whole bunch. But I think I've said numerous times, I'm not really someone who signs up for races often. So that's just another thing. I'm not going to sign up for that, but we have so many great local turkey trots to us. Really a big thing, super fun. I have so many friends who do them as a tradition with their family, which is also really cool. So just kind of touching on that a little bit. And if you go on the internet right now, if you're a runner and you follow any kind of running social media, you're going to see like tips for running a turkey trot. So I'm not going to give those to you, because you can do it however you want. If you run a lot of 5Ks, race it how you normally race it. If you want to race it. If you want to just do it as an easy run, just do it as an easy run. I actually have a couple runners. Some of them are doing it more of a race. We have some people doing the turkey trot as their like 5K time trial. So we're going to work on like a 5K cycle to see how quicker we can get over the winter time. And then some people who are still recovering from their, my dog just knocked something down, recovering from their fall races. And they are doing it more just as like an ease back into running, right? So even as runners, there's going to be so many different reasons we would do the turkey trot. Usually it's a 5K. But also I think a lot of non-runners end up at the turkey trot, people who don't run ever. That's what I mean by non-runner, not someone who's like, whatever that means. But again, if you are someone who does not run, or if you have not run in a long time, it can be really fun to get out there with your friends and family to do a little 5K. Again, that's 3.1 miles. So you can walk that. I don't want to say easily, but a lot of people walk that. If you have a busy life, busy job, busy anything, you can walk that in a day, just like, living life. So really kind of pushing for it. You can walk that, 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes a little more, but again, it's doable for people who are just getting into running. You can do a little run walk, 1 minute on, 1 minute off. You can even do 10 minutes of walking, 1 minute of running, and then a little bit until you get to the end, really kind of any interval you want. But yeah, so I mean, there's probably so many people who are out there walking them. But again, do it however you want. So I really don't have any tips for you because again, it's just, I literally got on my Instagram today and every running page I find, every coaching page is like, here's your tips for the turkey trot. So again, run it how you want. If you are trying to go fast, remember it's probably crowded, especially in the beginning. So think your first mile is going to be a little slower, which means you're really going to have to pick it up second mile, third mile to the end, right? But anyway, enough about the turkey trot. Have fun. Everybody can do it if you're able to move, right? But another thing I wanted to point out to people, because I was actually thinking that my family might want to start doing a turkey bowl again. We did that as kids. It's usually you're playing football, some kind of flag football, touch football, whatever it is. Oftentimes I think it's neighborhoods, families, whatever. So reminder for especially us runners that if you are going to be participating in a turkey bowl or some kind of sport like that Thanksgiving morning, for people who are long distance running, especially our bodies, because we are so used to that, we think I am so fit, I can do anything, which is true, but that effort and those muscles and the way that we're doing those things is not the same as, cutting sideways, super fast sprints, accelerations, decelerations, the lateral movements. We're not doing all of that often. If you're doing a great cross training program, you're probably fine. But just things to keep in mind that because you run 10 miles at whatever pace does not mean your body's not going to break or get hurt doing a completely different sport. So just wanted to throw that little reminder out there for everybody too. Maybe stretch a little bit, maybe do a little dynamic warm up, something like that. Make sure you have your good shoes on, something that's not going to slip, but also not like, maybe if you haven't worn cleats in a while, also things to remember that like, that's going to feel different as you're running in cleats. Again, you're going to move different. That's going to put different strains on different tendons in your lower legs. So just all things for people to think about, not to stress you out about your holiday plans, of course, right? I'm saying like, I'll do whatever you want with a turkey trot and a turkey bowl could hurt you, but, have fun, just be smart with whatever physical activity you are doing. If you're doing anything special on Thursday, and then, like I said, we will be back to our regular stuff next Tuesday and can't wait for it. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, all the things that you can do for a podcast that you enjoy listening to. Make sure you check out social media, our website, any of those things. If you have questions, comments, interview requests, feel free to email me at marikeyrunclub@gmail.com.